Alright guys, well today's a big day. It's another episode on my 79 series double cab build. And today's a bit of a big one. It's a bit of a change up in the whole scenario so far. So you guys have been watching a few of the episodes and seen how we're going. But to give you an idea on timescale, I've had this tray on from Norweld for over a year already. Really done some heavy work on it, and biggest thing is I just haven't had time to get onto the rest of my build and turning this into a touring setup. But we're now getting there and the big change is about to happen. So absolutely, as far as the tray goes, bulletproof tray, huge workmanship. The guys at Norweld do a fantastic job. For any of you guys that have seen these trays, you'll know that they are one of the top trays in the industry. Now I've been looking at getting my different canopies on for the overlanding side and the touring side, and to try and find something custom and get someone to build me a custom canopy, or finding the time to do my own custom canopy, has been a bit of a struggle. But in saying that, I've decided to go a complete different way, and something that I'm a lot more used to, being a South African born and bred. We have got standard canopy and tubs that we used to, and I'll be able to show you guys now how to rig that. So let me show you the big reveal. This bad boy's coming off. That's the big news, and I'll definitely be using it in future, probably on another vehicle or something like that, just as a pure work tray. Absolutely love it. Just get a set of hands over here. Luke, don't you give me a set of hands, please, mate? Let's do the big box of. So imported straight from SA. As many of you guys know, we do import the odd tubs, and I get a lot of phone calls asking about it. So let me show you. Thanks, mate. Let me show you the reveal. So this is a tub straight from South Africa, off a standard 79 series vehicle, V8, straight off the bat. Now we've color matched this to the sandy taupe. It was white before that, and I'm sporting the new Rhino Man canopy, and I've opted for the solid rear door. I'll go into more depth and detail on this. For now, let's get this into the workshop. Let's get that tray off and get this tub and canopy combo fitted as soon as we can. I'm so excited for this one. It's going to be good. Stay tuned. Righto guys, so just unplugging the lights from the back of the tray. Super easy. There's only 6 bolts to get these whole, this whole thing off. A bit of the fillet cap's going to be a bit of more of a pain. Norweld had an extended, basically fuel filler cap on these to suit the trays. The filler cap's right at the back. We're on the new tub. The filler cap moves forward again. But yeah, just basically taking this off, taking the spare wheel off. Next minute we'll bring the forklift in here, sling it up, and literally lift the whole tray combination off the back here. Make sure everything is prepped underneath and ready to fit the tub on. So I'll keep on cracking along with this, and yeah, we'll get to you soon. We've basically unbolted everything that we need to on the tray itself, put in a couple ratchet straps, and we literally just sling it up, picking it up with the forklift. Gonna lift it off, put it down, and then bring the tub in. So very straightforward, guys, not too much into this, but yeah, let's get on with it and see what we can get to. You right? Okay, going up some more. Can't yet. Mudguard's in the way. Happy? All right, I'm going back. All right, you happy?
Yeah, you've got the cab there though.
That's okay, all right. Right, slowly, slowly. Talk to me, Luke. We good there, mate? Mudguard's clearing? Tell me when I can start lowering. Right guys, well that's basically all off now. Give me a good opportunity to actually go through it. The vehicle's been on the beach once with a tray on when I went up to Fraser last November. So yeah, just have a good look over, check for any corrosion, any issues while I'm here. But basically the tub's going to come on. Now the factory tub mounts onto these 6 points. So 1, 2, 3, and then 3 on that side. So dead simple, very straightforward. It should just go straight on the top, bolt that down. Now what I'll have to do with this is basically my original filler hose, I see now, was actually cut. So it was cut into some places there to extend it. So I'll have to remove this, go find some hose. I'll go down to my local rubber shop, pick up some hose for this, or maybe even get Toyota ring. And then, yeah, basically that'll mount onto the filler neck, which is in about this position and not back there. So bringing it all forward. Nice thing about the tub is the tub should come in and be really close to the back of the chassis members over here. So come right far forward, plug into the factory lighting for the rear lights, and we are all sorted. So we'll get stuck onto this next bit, bring the tub in and go from there. So, well, as it is, this presents the perfect opportunity while we've got the tray off to get the tub on here to actually fit the long range tank that I've had sitting in the back of the shed for about 9 months. Now this is a Brown Davis long range tank for a 79 series double cab vehicle. So what it does, it takes the factory 130 litres and it's going to increase that to 185 litres. That's massive. It's over 40% of extra fuel capacity, which should be more than enough for just that little bit extra, you know, whether you're towing the boat or something, just allow you to get into those things. I like trying to cover distances when touring of a minimum of 800 kilometers. That is loaded in four-wheel drive and soft sand. So hopefully with this tank, I'll be able to do that. Worst case scenario, take one extra jerry can with me, like a 20 litre. So I'm going to get onto this. The big things to notice when you're offering anything like this is obviously there's instructions. Good on Brown Davis for having full instructions, but I'm first going to go through all the componentry to make sure I have everything in the new kit before I start taking the old replacement kit out or tank out. So just double check everything and then go to install. They reckon it's about a 3.5 hour job, so getting on the tools, let's see how we go. One other nice thing is what I've noticed is the Brown Davis tank actually has a bottom drainage hole. So if you end up getting dirty diesel in the tank, you can simply pop the plug out and drain it. The factory tanks do not. So just a tip, make sure your tanks are pretty much empty before you try and do this. So I've got just less than a quarter of a tank left, so that's probably about another 20 kilos, maybe 30 kilos in the tank itself. So adding a bit of weight, but not too much. The biggest thing is to do next is we're going to remove the pickup. We're going to remove the basically all your pickup, your sender units, your filler, all the piping and electrics that are wired into the tank come off first. Then you take the two big tank straps that are underneath the tank and drop those out. These two big braces are going to come away at the top of the tank. They come away, and Brown Davis has actually got a few accessory brackets which fit in. So, for example, this mounting bracket there will bolt something in like that over the existing bolt holes there, and that will then tie the tank in. And as far as the rear goes, instead of using these straps, because what they're doing is they're bringing the tank up to this point to accommodate extra fuel capacity. Effectively, the rears get these straps in them. So one of these mount to chassis and one mounts to tank, and basically they will meet up and bolt in. But I'll go through that a little bit later. It's probably going to take me at least 45 minutes or so to strip all of this out. So I'm going to get started on that. Taping off anything that needs to be protected, and taping up some rags or just some basically in all your fillers, so I don't have to get contaminants into this tank. What I will do is take some of this diesel out of here later, and I will flush the new tank before I install it. That way, if there's any iron filings or any welding burrs or anything that got in the Brown Davis tank and hasn't been cleaned out properly, I'll give it a good old flush with this diesel beforehand and then empty that out, and yeah, hopefully fill it up after that. So let's get on with it. This is actually the next day. I started on it yesterday, got busy at work, so couldn't get back onto my truck. But just to give you a bit of a rundown, the Brown Davis tank is in, and that's that 185 litre tank I've been fitting. One thing that the kit was not supplied in the kit was the Teflon type of tape. This is similar to plumber's tape or PTFE tape, but the Teflon based one, so it's good for diesel tanks and basically diesel fuel, so it doesn't disintegrate. So I fitted that while I was in the back here and while the tray was off. Great time to knock over any potential rusting pieces, all the new bolts which have been fastened and put into place, as well as the hose pipe clamps. I've actually also sprayed. Now, I use Tectile. Tectile's been around for years. It actually dries pretty solid, so it's not something that you need to reapply. Great for when you do cuts or bumper cuts or anything that you want to cut on steel. Rust preventative Tectile works really, really well. So just note, don't forget your Teflon tape if you're doing this by yourself. Now, time-wise, this did take a solid 3 hours to put it in, and it is heavy, or let's rather say awkward to work with. So definitely easier with somebody. The instructions are really straightforward. It's pretty easy to work out. There's nice pictures in the whole thing. One thing I had to do though is I had to get the old filler cap and hose module back in. So that's come back in because the Norweld one had a full extension coming out further to the back. That's ready, tank is in, it's got a bit of diesel in it, and I'm now ready to fit the tub. So let's get that on here and carry on with this build. Alrighty, well finally we're at this moment. Now I've slung up the canopy coming off the hooks on the side of the tub. These tubs are super strong, so just run a couple slings off that. Fitted the rear lights as the factory light option, so there's a heap of those around that you can pick up from guys that have changed over to trays. So got the factory lights on there. Also went through my local Toyota dealer to get the M12 by 1.8 by 1.25 mil thread. So it's a fine thread pattern to screw into the bolt that's welded into the chassis member. Okay, so make sure you got the right bolt to go in there for the threads. Now, Unistrut nuts, really strong heavy duty nuts, and I've used them on the inside of the middle channel only to basically pop that in there because it gets a bolt that comes up from underneath. So I've lined that up, taken a little bit of glue effectively if you want to, and you can just dab a bit of glue in there or Sikaflex just to hold it in place for while you're lowering it down. Next step, I'm going to drive the fork truck in. I've got a friend of mine, Brock, he's going to help me out. We're going to drop the tub onto the back of the ute and just line it up, and it should be that easy. 6 bolts bolted down, and make sure you're using high tang style bolts, so stay away from your stainless. You just want to use high tang style bolts, give it a good treat in a Tectile or a type of spray that's going to stop the corrosion. So let's get onto that. All right, how are we looking there, Brock? Come down a bit more. Forward. Yeah, okay. Say when. Yeah, I can. Yep, almost there. All right. Yeah, left side shifting. About there. All right. Slowly, slowly does it. So absolutely critical to get help at this type of stage. You can't see anything from the back of this. Down. How are we looking, all right? Tilt forward slightly. There we go, we're almost there. Hey? Yeah, you're literally blind and seeing here, so that help is definitely needed. Let me just have a look see as well, see what we're facing. How are we looking here, mate? Pivot in. All right, I'll come down a smidgen, eh?
No, well this has got, I've got movement on this side yet.
Okay. Now, the factory mounts will line up being a factory tub. Also something to note as well is that there is conveyor belting rubber or rubber underneath each of the rungs fastening where your fastening points are. So when this arrived, there wasn't any rubber in the front, so I grabbed some 50mm rubber insertion and just cut out a piece so it's going to rest on that. What would you like me to do, bud?
Here we go.
There we go. All right, get a couple. So what we're doing now is we're putting the one bolt into place and turning a few threads on that end, just to kind of secure it in. And being on the sling, we've got a single sling rope around the middle of the 2 slings. So what that also allows us to do is to shift and pivot this as needed. So making it a little bit easier for us to get it down. So I'm just going to come down on there, Brock, if you want to hold it in.
Have you got the key? I need to get the steel cap out.
Oh, yep, just behind you, above your head there. So this lanyard, yeah. Alrighty, so fuel cap filler, we forgot to take that off.
No.
Alright, so just taking this filler off here. Take that off, and that's going to come up into the factory mounting point on there. So we'll just get it kind of into position. How's that looking?
Yeah. You could probably come down a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine. Alright, I'll come down a smidgen.
And then we'll see if we can get your other bolt. I'm going to keep weight on this, sir.
You ready?
Yeah. Okay, you want to try and get your bolt in on the other side?
Yep. Alright, so back in on this side. Ah, we are getting there now. It's starting to look good. Alright, I see that bolt now. All right, can you push your back over towards me, please? Yep, like that, done. Yeah, she'll go down there. All right, are you ready for me to lower it?
Yeah,
All right, fingers out the way, sling off. And have a look-see. There we go. The big girl's on. That looks awesome. Now, I'll probably be taking off this red Toyota sticker and going with the black one. The original on the Sandy was black. Reds go on the white tubs, but when we resprayed this, there must have been a bit communication error. But guys, it's on. It is looking awesome. Huge. I mean, I'm 6 foot and it's up there. This is awesome. So next step, bolt it down, rust proof the bolts so that we don't get corrosion on those high tensile bolts. And yeah, stay tuned. All right, guys, well, there you have it. It's been a couple of days getting this on with having that Brown Davis tank fitted. And it's come out an absolute treat. Massive, massive space as well. It was actually a really easy fitment being in the factory mounts. So the tub went on great. The Rhino-Cab canopy just gives us a huge void. You can see on there, rear tailgate come down over there. Now, I've already had this rubber lined, so a lot of heavy duty rubberizing or rubber lining on the inside. So the other thing is to note that the flares that I got sprayed up, although sprayed on the same color spec or spec code, we obviously were slightly a shade out. So these are a bit darker than the front flares, but the plan anyway is to change those flares to different colors. So I'm going to get those sprayed up before I complete the whole tub on the outside, and then have that sprayed a different color to these and get it looking absolutely beautiful. Now stay tuned for the next few episodes. We've got a lot more happening. We've got massive space to fill, so a lot of touring stuff going in there as far as overlanding essentials go. We've got water tanks coming in, big battery systems, fridges, you name it, and slowly making it my own. And it's awesome getting back on the tools again. So much fun building up vehicles. Guys, stay tuned for the next ep and I'll catch you later.